Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Hi, I'm DKWILL, and this is DK. We'll talk about it. How you doing tonight? I thought I'd talk about this situation here. Plus, I did a little bit of snooping around, and I found some interesting information that I think I'll share with you in this video. This article here from yesterday from U.Today, Trading View, it says XRP supplies fall on Coinbase, extends to 90%. New data confirms. Coinbase's XRP has fallen almost 90% in just 3 months, according to new information from XRP wallets. At the beginning of the summer, the leading U.S. crypto exchange held around 970 million XRP in 52 cold wallets. 10 of these held 26.8 million coins each, and the rest held another 16.8 million combined. This made Coinbase one of the largest visible holders of XRP in the market. And I did do a video about the owners of XRP. Maybe I'll find that and show a little clip in here if it ties in. But the key thing here is that Coinbase's stash has fallen, and there's talk of a short supply of XRP in the markets. Well, with Coinbase having been the leading holder now dropping 90%, that's absolutely true. Where did it go? We'll talk about that too. But then something switched, and now by the middle of September, only 6 cold wallets are still active, each with 16.5 million XRP, leaving a total close to 99 million, a level not seen in years. Now look at that, folks. 970 million in 52 cold wallets has been broken down to 6 cold wallets holding only 99 million. This is an 89.79% drop from June, July, August, September. We're talking 3 months at best, which happened against the backdrop of consistent transfers between Coinbase and unknown wallets all summer. Now, you guys know my suspicion, and they mentioned the same suspicion in this article. One of those, like the 16.5 million XRP worth 51.4 million that moves into Coinbase, happened just this weekend, sparking further debate among traders. Where is it going? Some may think big companies and institutions like BlackRock might be buying XRP through Coinbase for their customers, but nothing is known for sure. And if you like the content I'm providing, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, and then come back for more DK Will Talk About It. I absolutely suspect that in all the efforts to get ready for the exchange traded funds, Coinbase is unloading XRP because the powerful money financial institutions like BlackRock said so. No different than when David Schwartz said every now and then you got to kind of like make a sacrifice to keep your baby alive. I'm paraphrasing, and then if we go to X, we'll probably be able to see what he said. And so, as not to misquote, I went to X to see what he said. And he said, when a scrappy financial startup takes on a web of corruption and betrayal to bring instant payments to the masses, they learn the cost of disrupting the status quo is higher than they could ever have imagined, forcing them to decide between their vision and their survival. So it doesn't take a whole lot of reading between the lines to hear what that man is saying. It's a cutthroat world out there, and when you're the biggest and the baddest, you probably were the biggest and the baddest. And BlackRock is the biggest and the baddest. Going on back to the article, it says the on chain data only shows balances leaving the exchange, not where the coins go after they leave cold storage or how they might be used later. They'll be used for the ETFs, folks. They'll be used to manipulate prices, folks. They'll be used for sure, and Coinbase will get their fees for all the extreme volume that will follow. Amid all this, XRP remains the third largest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin and Ethereum, with a market value of around 183 billion. This makes it even more surprising that Coinbase's role in storing XRP becomes much smaller, as it raises questions about whether coins are being moved into new custody solutions, private vaults, or alternative trading routes. XRP, the coin, the software, the protocol, was never designed for the retail speculator investor. It has a purpose. The new monetary system is being installed and it will be used for its purpose. I refer you to my prior video that brought out some points you may be interested in about ways to get it out of our hands. And so the ones who actually need it, the ones who are actually moving high volumes of money, like a BlackRock, for instance, the largest asset manager on the globe, that's where it's going to go. And it's going to come out more and more out of our hands. And the squeeze is coming. Now, they may throw a bone, but the other option is they shake up the markets a little bit still, just to be sure. They shook everyone loose who has a weak hand. You know, people are hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. And you get one more shake to see if anybody else has lost their grip. It could be something like that. But I also said I did a little snooping around. Let's look into that. I decided to go to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and look for any kind of recent filings that may be of interest. And when I did, I actually found two right with each other, interestingly enough, and they're right here. Brian Armstrong and Coinbase Global. And when you look at the reason for their filings, Brian Armstrong has filed a report of proposed sale of securities on today's date, 9/15. He recently did another one on 9/4, and another one on 8/12, and another one on 8/4. And so he's been selling lately, and sale of securities. Remember, XRP is not a security, so he must be selling stock. But when you click on the documents, it shows Coinbase Global. So it looks like he's selling Coinbase stock. That's what it looks like, what he's selling from his living trust. And when you look at Coinbase Global, they have a report of sale of securities on the 15th. They did actually two on the 15th. They did another one on the 12th. So they did on the 12th, the 15th, and the 15th. Let's click on the 15th. My goodness, it looks the same as Brian Armstrong Living Trust, doesn't it? So somebody's been unloading stock. And you'll notice that the type of filing is a 144. You see where it says type here, 144 for Coinbase. It's a type 144. It's the same thing for both parties. And just to give a quick lesson on what a Form 144 is, the Form 144 is a form that has to be filed with the SEC by an affiliate of the issuer as a notice of a proposed sale of securities in reliance on Rule 144 when the amount to be sold under Rule 144 by the affiliate during any 3-month period exceeds 5,000 shares or units and has an aggregate sales price in excess of $50,000. A person filing a Form 144 must have a bona fide intention to sell the securities referred to in the form within a reasonable time after the filing of the form. Reasonable time being a little ambiguous, but what it is Brian Armstrong is the affiliate of the issuer, and the issuer is Coinbase Global. And the reason he is an affiliate can be defined when you look here for Rule 144. It's basically, to cut it down to the skinny of it all, is a person who has, I have to find it here. I know where it's at. Somewhere it's in here. 10% interest or more. Better be in here. Oh, it's down here. Here are the definitions. An affiliate is an issuer person that directly or indirectly through one or more intermediaries controls or is controlled by or is under common control with the issuer. So he has significant influence on the issuer, Brian Armstrong does, and the issuer is Coinbase. And if you go a little bit further down, it says any corporation or other organization other than the issuer in which such person or any of the persons specified are the beneficial owners collectively of 10% or more of any class of equity securities or 10% or more of the equity interest. So clearly, Coinbase Global has more than a 10% interest in itself, and Brian Armstrong has more than a 10% interest in Coinbase. And they're both registering to sell stock. Now, why would they do that? Could it be for those disappearing XRP? There's another thought. Maybe BlackRock is not alone. So something as valuable as about 871 million XRP disappearing is no small thing. And so there's a lot of moving and jiving going around here, and somebody's moving XRP. Somebody's selling their stock and interest in Coinbase while the XRP supply in Coinbase is going down. Maybe BlackRock's not the only one buying. So, folks, I think we better get ready to see things start happening. But before that happens, you know what's going to happen. They're going to keep the price down because they're going to buy low and they're getting ready to sell high. Now, BlackRock, of course, they're getting ready also to manipulate and control the markets, which they already practice doing, not necessarily BlackRock, but the financial institutions. They already practice doing that with the futures. Now they're going to do it with the real deal on the spots. But before the spots happen, it looks like Brian Armstrong's going to get him a bigger share of XRP in his personal living trust pocket. And Coinbase is going to make itself a more powerful company by buying some XRP instead of custodying it. That's just my guess. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.